Hello everybody, happy April Fools. I'm Steve.
I'm Calum.
So you may recognise Calum from the Resident Evil unboxing video. He was some glorious hands. And because we're silly and we thought we'd rather do a top 10 or something which is more professionals, kind of territory, instead, well, I doubt you'll see it on the camera, but we're going to do a meme. Right? Yeah. It's one of those one like, one answer things, but f*** that b****. Oh, we're trying to censor the swears a little this time, so no f***, no sh**.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, he's editing it. So, we also have this whiteboard, so you, by all means, chime in the comments below. Also, before we start, likely to be a few spoilers for various games. It's going to be a challenge, but I'll try and get a hint as to what the spoilers are for list for Calum. And
I promise no such thing.
If our answers differ from yours, tell us in the comments below why, and don't get mad, don't get upset. Our opinions, not yours. They can all be fancy and different. Okay, so what's our first, Calum?
The first question is a game that has a lasting impression on you.
Oh my god.
Okay, that's right.
Nothing f***ing easy then.
No, definitely not.
Why did I do the letters so big?
Well done, Steve.
Yeah! So, a game that left a lasting impression on me would be... We've got a table to make a load of noise. Oh, this is a challenge, man. Oh yeah, by the way, rather than these being our definitive 100% well thought out answers, first game that comes to mind. So it could actually be, I do like a top 5, or Calum does a top 5 or something later on. Totally different answers.
Yeah.
Can you go? I have no idea.
Silent Hill 2.
Why?
Quite easy, straight off the bat. It's just one of the greatest psychological horrors that I've ever played. It's the first game that genuinely terrified me. And it has brought a love of the whole horror genre to me.
Okay.
It's the game that got me playing Resident Evil.
You know what? I think I'll go with that. Considering there's enough of the Resident Evil videos on the channel as it is, I'm sure there's a playlist in the description of this video of pretty much every single Resident Evil that we've done so far, because I can't stop playing the franchise. I enjoy it. I am now doing a podcast with First Aid Spray, with Cyniac and a few other fellows. So, I'm going to do the best thing I can do and cop out and say that. Alright, go on, Cal, what's question 2?
Question number 2. Can't read because I'm very good at this. Favourite female video game character? Yeah. Favourite femme. That'll do.
Wow. I feel like a rubbish teacher. Alright, favourite female character, go.
We discussed this one and I forgot the name already.
Angela Orozco, right?
That's the one.
Right, okay.
Angela Orozco from Silent Hill 2.
See, we were so excited about doing this. He threw this one out to me before we even started recording the video.
Just stood outside and it just came up. This is where spoilers are going to come into effect, but Angela is from Silent Hill 2. She's one of the secondary characters. She's not a protagonist. She's never had her own sort of big game, but her story in Silent Hill 2 is just so strong. It's so damaged. She's not a femme fatale. She's not a character who wants to be saved.
From what I remember, she's a damaged character who doesn't want help.
Extremely damaged, and being in the Silent Hill universe, you don't help characters in the Silent Hill universe. It just doesn't work like that. But she is just... She's a character with so many real flaws. She's got so many real issues. And just how she handles them, how she deals with them, you can't help but feel so sympathetic for her. And it's such... If you've never played Silent Hill 2, seriously, give it a play. It's so strong of a story, and it's...
Okay. Now, for my answer, I've got a problem, though.
Okay.
Because there are that many badass female characters that I can think of, and yet the first one that comes to mind is Madeline from Celeste. It's a little indie platformer game. Friggin' hard, right? But the Madeline herself, she's like, I'm having a bad time of it. I'm going to try and unmess myself up. I'm going to climb a big-ass mountain. She's dealing with anxiety, she's dealing with depression, and all the other usual horrible traits. I
recognise the name of the game.
Right, she has to confront her darker self, so to speak, which is kind of like a bad counterpart. It's not actually that bad. Does a very interesting thing in the old game, but I'm not going to go into too much narrative, but the way she faces the problems, and that she never gives up, even when she's at her lowest point, she still finds a way to drive on. Really friggin' cool. And like I said, first one that came to mind, most people would say stuff like Samus or Zelda or Claire Redfield, Jill Valentine.
I'm surprised that your answer wasn't Claire.
Well, you gotta mix it up, you know. I mean, I like Tifa. She's pretty cool. Yeah, Tifa versus Tifa every time, motherfucker. Come at me, bros. Die. Next question. Okay, so what's question 3, Cal?
It is a game that's so bad but so good.
Okay.
Bad game, that good.
Bad game, that good, yes.
I'll jump straight in with mine.
Oh, okay, go on then.
It would be Alone in the Dark on the PlayStation 3. One of the first games that I ever had for the PlayStation 3. It is...
Scary?
Functionally, no, it's not scary in the slightest.
Well, it's a bad game.
For a game called Alone in the Dark, it is far from scary. Functionally, it just doesn't work. The controls are just bad. The story makes no sense. There's another one.
Okay.
It's graphically, it's just so. It was.
I thought for its time it was decent. The game was janky as hell. But I thought the actual.
It still kind of felt too PlayStation 2-y, if that makes any sort of sense. It was. I played Mercenaries, my first game for the PlayStation 3, and still that looked better than Alone in the Dark did to me.
Okay. But why is the game good then?
The game's good purely because of just how camp it feels. The driving mechanics is so fun. The shooting, strangely enough, is fun.
I remember closing my eyes to see weird things with my eyes closed.
Yeah, the creatures were fun. The creatures were actually quite inventive.
Okay.
Not sure if I said driving, but the driving was fun. The inventory system, which is just the opening up of the jacket and only being able to carry what you could fit in your pockets, that was all fun. And it was one of the first games I can remember ever having the game doesn't pause if you open your inventory system. It doesn't pause when you open your jacket.
It's like Dark Souls, right? Wait, no.
Yeah, kind of is. The game doesn't pause, so if there's something come towards you and you've run out of Molotov cocktails, you've pretty much shagged it. You're not going to have time to sort something out. It's too buggy to enjoy. But just the little things between the missions, that makes it good, but just the rest of the game, it's just bad.
So I remember basically telling Satan to F you, and that was it. That's as much as I remember of that game.
There's 2 endings, and neither of them make sense.
Okay.
To me, anyway.
See, I'm still struggling, and you've got this great one that I can actually turn around and say, yeah, that was pants, but also good. Yeah! So I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with Ghost Hunter on PS2.
Okay.
Right, so Ghost Hunter on PS2, 3D action game.
Okay.
Right? Of course, you're an NYPD cop. You know, you're a rookie. You're a badass with, I remember, spiky hair and Rob Paulson's voicing you. Do you know who Rob Paulson is?
No.
He's like the voice of Raphael in Ninja Turtles and Donatello now. And basically, cool voice actor.
I don't know that either.
Right, and the general premise of the game is you go into the spooky house and shenanigans occur with ghosts. With a name like Ghost Hunter. Who knew?
But, ghost.
Yeah, I know. So... gameplay boils down to you're running around shooting things with your regular guns or sci-fi guns, and then the really cool part is you have to weaken ghosts to the point where you can capture them, like Ghostbusters. And then you have to throw a little discus at your back, and I remember the animation just being so slick, because you'll actually go, throw Tron disc, smacks ghost in face, and then it swings back around, and in the same arc, just yeah, baller. Like you're wind posing every time, you just beat these things. Otherwise, clunky as hell.
Oh, okay.
The guns were janky. The platforming, I remember platforming, I could be wrong, doesn't ring any hot bells saying like, yeah, that was really cool. So I'm going to go Ghost Hunter.
Game that hit an emotional spot in your heart.
Okay, so this is 4, yeah?
Yes. Good save on the spelling mistake there, Steve. Not so much there.
It's an emotional game. Alright, hit me.
Okay.
No!
Emotional game.
I've got one if you're struggling.
No. It's a cop-out answer. I've already given 2 from this game, but Silent Hill 2.
Alright, okay.
I'm
From hearing, edit Calum. Hello, present Calum.
Hello.
Right, edit Calum. I want you to put a Silent Hill 2 counter.
Yeah.
Right here.
Just... I can't think of anything else that comes immediately off the top of my head.
Okay.
There is one, but I've not finished it yet.
Go on, for the sake of it.
For the sake of it, why not Red Dead Redemption 2?
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
We'll scrap the whole... We'll take one off the Silent Hill counter, because there's going to be more. But... Don't take that away from me. So yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2, it is just a heartbreaking game. To the point where I'm up to now, I know something even worse is going to happen.
See, everyone tells me how epic this game is, and it's like sadness and cowboys and violence.
Oh, it is so sad. I mean, the characters that I've come to grow and love, they just get popped off.
And then you're left with the cast from Red Dead Redemption 1.
And then it's just like, yeah, I know that characters are going to die, but why him? I liked him.
Isn't it the gimmick Dutch always has a plan that's never going to work out?
Pretty much. Dutch never has a plan.
See, I've played the first one. I was meant to play the second one, but I just never got around to playing it, so I know, get angry at me, internet, and deal with it. I think for mine, I've got a few, but the first one that comes to mind is Mass Effect 2.
Never played them.
Right, okay, the general crux of Mass Effect 2 is you're building up and building up and building up your team. You've got to solve their personal traumas to get their heads in the right space so you can take place in a suicide mission.
Okay.
Right, to basically save the world. And yeah, everyone's little stories and stuff build up, and then when you get to the suicide mission where you have literally every hour of this, like, it's an RPG, so we're talking 20, 40 hours. Yeah. You can build up to this one hour, maybe 2 hour segment tops. It's a massive payoff. I won't spoil it, but yeah, the entire going through it and getting through everyone's personal baggage, and then even if you don't do it right, you can get all your crew completely wiped out, and you'll feel like the worst leader ever. So Mass Effect 2, one of my favourite games.
5. Favourite game developer or studio?
Oh my god! Alright, fave dev or studio. Well, this one's f***ing easy. For me, anyway. Capcom. Because I can think of more games I like by Capcom than I don't. Yeah. So you've got your Monster Hunter, you've got your Resident Evil, you've got your Dino Crisis, you've got your Street Fighter, Mega Man, Breath of Fire. There's a lot of friggin' games in that library. And yes, they have had some rocky years, but with Resi 2 and DMC5 and Monster Hunter World, they seem to be turning it around. What you got?
I've actually got two answers, but one of them I'm going to redact pretty much immediately.
Why? Because it was Capcom?
No, the first one is Ubisoft.
Oh, okay.
Because they've developed, quite frankly, my favourite video game franchise, which is the Assassin's Creed franchise. However, Ubisoft are just a scummy company, and I can't get behind a company that doesn't treat its workers fairly and just really rehashes the same shit pretty much every year.
The EA strategy.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, whilst Ubisoft, yes, you've developed my favourite video games ever, you're a shitty company, and I really don't like you because of that.
So who's the number two, then?
The number two is Capcom.
Yes!
Because, despite the fact, yes, rocky years, the Resident Evil franchise, the arse end of the Resident Evil franchise hasn't really gone down very well. Resident Evil 7, is quite frankly an astonishing game.
RE2's no slouch, come on.
I've never played RE2.
You see, he had that much stress editing the compilation of Resident Evil 2, right?
Resident Evil 3, mostly, and that was one of my favourite games. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah. So it's a thing.
But then Capcom developed my second favourite video game franchise, which is Devil May Cry.
Oh, yes.
So, we won't talk about Devil May Cry 2 for reasons of its shit.
Oh, yeah, if you look into the history of DMC2, man, there's like development hell.
Oh, Christ.
I mean, I was hearing the other day, apparently it was only made in like 6 months.
Yeah.
And it kind of shows.
It was a severely rushed game, and yeah, it does show.
But
Devil May Cry 1 is a fantastic game. 3 is a even more fantastic game. 4, 5 I haven't played yet, but I have heard so many good things.
Okay.
And so...
That's fair. See, Capcom 2 votes for Capcom, and, to Ubisoft. Right. Next question. Go on then, Cal.
Pen down. Dante from Devil May Cry.
Why?
Because he's just an absolute badass. Quite simply, he's so quirky, he's so quick, he's so punny in his own ways. And he's just damn awesome. He's cool. I want white hair, just like him. I have got a cosplay of him under my bed somewhere.
You know, if you dyed your hair white,
yeah.
you'd be rocking.
I could go for that. And red trench coat, I could go for that. But
so you're not going for that? You're not going for the leather trench coat?
No. I'm not going to go for full leather. That's for secretly in the bedroom. But
okay. Fair enough.
But he's just such an awesome, cool, quick, quirky character.
See, I always thought Dante was kind of goofy. I mean, I love Dante, but he is goofy.
And we're talking Devil May Cry 3 and 1 Dante. We're not talking about the remake Dante, who's just a dick.
DMC 4 and 5 Dante are very much the same Dante.
Devil May Cry 4 Dante is quite fun, but when we're talking about the remake DMC, he's just...
that's what he's on.
He's just a flat-out prick. And
yeah.
There's another word that comes to mind, but I just refuse to use it.
So my cop-out answer then, which came to mind straight away, and I don't know why, is Siegfried from the Soul Calibur series.
Okay.
Right? Because dude wields a giant motherfucking Zweihander sword like Cloud Strife, but has more issues than Cloud Strife could ever have, right? First thing he does when he gets a sword, forms a little pirate band, kills his dad, goes back mental, thinks that in order to catch the person who killed my dad, I need this whopping cursed sword. Then picks up the cursed sword, becomes Nightmare. Alright? Nightmare being one of the big bads of the Soul Calibur series.
Yeah.
Like, Night murders a shit ton of people. Shit ton of people. I had to say that a lot. Alright? Causes a dent in the world, pretty much. Eventually, gets his head straight, things happen, and he splits off from this persona. But this persona now is everything he was that's evil and deranged, and he has to go against it. And I just like the whole having to face one's own inner demons kind of thing. I mean, there's a bit of more character nightmare than just your own personal demons, but fighting this avatar of all the things that you despise, and you'll want to throw yourself to destroy it, and all the while he's struggling with his personal guilt and anguish and his stuff. It's not the most deep character, because it's a fighting game, for sake. Yeah. But it's the first one that came to mind, and them's the rules!
That's it.
Number 7. 5 of your favourite video game OSTs. So this is the part that the copyright people are going to be looking at for the video.
We're supposed to do this straight off our heads?
Alright, okay. Let's go low ball. Let's do the easy stuff first. Right? Final Fantasy 7. You haven't even finished writing it yet. Final Fantasy 7. Because I'm not even going to go into it. Final Fantasy 7. Alright? Tracks are riddled with nostalgia for me, very memorable. You'll always hear One Winged Angel go, oh yeah, you'll hear the battle theme, let's kick some ass. Tifa's theme, Aerith's theme, Barrett's theme, personal favourite, Underneath a Rotting Pizza. It's a really good one. Number 2, Doom 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, Mick Gordon, badass. BFG Division gets me hard every time. It's badass. You murder demons, you tear them apart, and the music just fits so well. You put it on, you're doing the dishes, your pots are clean in seconds, because you're just... Alright, number 3, Mass Effect 2. Because Jack Ward did a great flipping job, and it's just like the themes just fit.
Yeah.
Alright? I don't know how to describe it. It's very sci-fi, synthy. You know, I'm into that kind of synthwave stuff anyway, so that fits very well. Super Metroid.
Never played it, but sure.
Very moody, atmospheric stuff. Again, science fiction. Trying to think any memorable tracks that might stand out a lot. Brinstar Green, which is like a really jungly place. The music just feels... Not in your kitschy, like... 80s movie way where everything's like tribal drums and steel pan and stuff. But it's it's just very cool. And then I think Doom, Super Metroid, Mass Effect. First one was FF7. So my last one. First one that comes to mind.
Don't think I've played that game.
Street Fighter 2.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Street Fighter 2. Because, again, nostalgia, and the game is just so boring without the music. Most games are, to be fair. No. It's got such iconic stuff, like, Gar's theme, Ryu's theme, everyone's frigging theme, even Dalsim's theme, which is just like, Anyway, I've rattled on long enough.
Okay, my 5, Little Big Planet 2, in no particular order, but yeah, Little Big Planet 2, it fits The music, I can't really describe it. It's quite funky, it's quite happy, it's quite energetic.
Does it start with like a remix of Left Bank 2?
I believe so.
Boop, ba doop, ba doop, doop.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
But it's just so upbeat, it's so fun, it fits the model of the game so perfectly well. It's just, it gets you creative, it gets you imagining, which is exactly what Little Big Planet 2 is. Second one would be Devil May Cry 3. Because
can we get Devil May Cry count and leave that Silent Hill count or something?
No. Devil May Cry 3 because it was one of the first sort of like very what quite is the genre? Quite heavy metal, quite close to screamo music. It's one of the
flinch in your eye calls your bluff. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
It's quite screamo, and it's the only real screamo music I can listen to. And
one of the few video games where your main character in an action game has a rock-out guitar sequence, singing his own theme.
Yes. Number 3 would probably be Red Dead Redemption 2. And that is only because for when it does actually have musical moments in it, and you'll know it if you play it, and those of you who have played it will know it, they always fit. It's not just music that's just been put in for the sake of, it's a bit melancholy, here's a bit of sad music. It fits what's happening.
Is it the same, like, obviously I haven't played Red Dead 2, I only played Red Dead 1, but is it the same, like, kind of jazzy twang as like a proper western?
Kind of, mostly, but then there were just some of those where it's just Arthur Morgan being the main protagonist. It's just him riding through some wilderness, and it's just got a bit of melancholy music behind it, but it fits the tone of what's happening or what's just happened just perfectly. It works in sync with itself. It's just good.
It's hard trying to explain why you like them, isn't it?
It really is. Which one am I up to?
You're on 4.
I'm on 4. Probably be Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess.
Ooh! Banger. Yeah, yes. I like it.
It's, again, one of the few early games on the Wii that I played. I never played the original.
You played the wrong version.
I did.
You played it where Link is a righty.
Pretty much.
Link is canonically a lefty. Get the no, don't get the
Okay.
No, don't
no. Bye. No. So yeah, it's another one of those where the music fits the tone so perfectly. It fits everything, the environments to the towns that you're in, and just the feeling of everything. It just all works.
And so I remember, obviously it's one of the darkest Zelda games.
Oh Christ!
I would argue Majora's darker, but let's go into that. It's the whole Dark World aspect, and you've got this very atmospheric stuff. And Zelda's normally a bit more kitschy.
Yeah.
So hearing dark, moody remixes of classic tunes, I can get behind that. I think that's a really good choice.
And just jumping straight in on the example that you just made. Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
Aha! Yes!
Again, just another one of those soundtracks where not necessarily the music itself to listen to separately is, you could just pop your headphones in and off you go. It works so well within the game. It works so well within the town that you're in and the situation that you're in.
Yeah, clock down.
Just atmosphere, and it just sets it so well.
Actually, I think, not to interrupt, I know I'm a from it, right? But one of my favourite... I know I've already picked my 5, alright, get off me back. But one of my favourite...
number 6.
Yeah, one of my favourite, most haunting tracks, whenever I want to just give myself the heebie-jeebies, because I'm weird, I like it, right? The actual final countdown theme, as the moon is coming down, is one of the most haunting melodies, and it's a very simple melody, but it's stuck in my head, and with the dying chimes of the clock tower. Yeah, Majora's Mask is straight. Oh, yeah, good choice.
Yeah. It's just damn good. Number 8, a game that not enough people talk about.
Oh my god, right.
I have my answer straight away. Oh, you've done it again.
Steve's handwriting is f***ing amazing. A game people should go up short, but a game people should talk about.
A game that not enough people talk about. Straight in there, it's forgot the name. It's The Consuming Shadow.
Oh, Yahtzee's Lovecraftian nightmare game.
Yes, developed by Zero Punctuation's Yahtzee Croshaw. It is just... I don't know why more people haven't played it.
So it's a randomly generated...
It's a randomly procedurally generated game where you play as a paranormal investigator who has to discover these 4 runes to spell an incantation to stop this Lovecraftian-style horror from taking over the world. However, all this madness is going on around you, but you seem to be, yourself and this ministry, seem to be the only ones who's really taking it in, who really seem to be noticing that such
And you can go mad at any time. You do the wrong things.
So you've got a sanity meter, which actually, as far as sanity meters in video games go, they work. Because, like, when your sanity goes down, options will go from, let's give an example, from explore a building to go to the shop. It will very, very quickly...
We're talking like Eternal Darkness. You know how that kind of went all skew-if when the sanity meter went low?
Not really. Kinda, but not really. But, like, the option will jump from go to the shop or go to this building, it will jump to suicide.
Oh, yeah, now I remember.
And then it would go to a mini-game of your character bringing a gun up to his head, and you've got to try and...
Do you sense a theme with Calum's job?
Mash it back. I'm very morbid. I'm a very depressed little boy.
He's lovely. You have a hug. There you go.
But yeah, it's a game I've played about 50 times. But
I want to play it. I've never played it.
I've only completed it about 3 times.
Okay.
Because it's one of those... It really is one of those games where you can just... Yes, there's an in-game table that you can use, but pen and paper. Just get everything written down. Get all the clues written down. Get all the runes that you found written down. Because you've got to work out which god it is that's invading the world. There's 3 gods.
You picked the wrong one, you fucked it.
If you pick the wrong one, you've picked the wrong rune, and then the game ends. The world has been taken over. And it's just such another one of those really good atmospherical games, which you do need to play.
So I remember a lot of people comparing it to a randomly generated Silent Hill without the character baggage.
Kinda, yes.
Yeah. A game people don't talk about. A game people do not talk about these days. Okay, you know what I'm going to go for? I wasn't right on the board because we're using that for the questions, not the answers. Armored Core. From Software's other game franchise. You may or may not have heard of From Software.
I do believe I've heard of Armored Core.
Yeah, basically, I always considered it, if MechWarrior was a straight-up action game, Armored Core was the Gran Turismo of anime mech games.
Okay.
Right? Because you have to pick your parts, you have to tune your engines, you have to, really finely design your weapon of death.
Okay.
And then you go on contract missions to get money and find parts. You can build your machine to fight in the arena if you want. And I always just loved the idea of, right, here's a character building game, but instead you're just a pilot. Fine-tune this cool machine. Because we've all played Gran Turismo and racing games where you pick your car, you faff around with your engine stuff. It's much more interesting to, instead of faff around with an engine, what kind of laser cannons am I strapping to my big death machine?
Okay.
That and the whole mercenary aspect of it. You can pick companies and try and favour them to get some perks. It's more evident in later games, but, if you favour certain sides and stuff. So, yeah, that's kind of cool. I think MechWarrior did its own kind of thing in that with MechWarrior Mercenary series, but Armored Core's better because it's third person. Don't at me!
At him.
Okay, so our next question is... 4! You love this one. Virgil from the Devil May Cry series. Because as much as Dante is a goofy goofball, Virgil is a stoic, psychopathic, dedicated to nothing but power.
Yeah.
He's a really cruel, manipulative individual who, spoilers, has a slight change of heart in the later game. It's not a complete heel turn or anything like that. But Virgil, because he is so dedicated to power that he will screw over anybody, including his own brother, his own family, has no qualms with just gutting his ass with a katana just to get a little gem on his neck.
Yep.
But when the chips are down, he'll still team up with him.
Yeah.
Even if it means he'll lose any power. So I'm going with Virgil.
I'm fully with you on that one. It's not my answer, but I'm fully with you.
Okay.
My answer is Pagan Min from Far Cry 4.
See, you went for something a bit more deep.
Far Cry 4 or is it Far Cry 3? No,
Far Cry 4.
3 was the...
Vars.
Yeah, that's insane, dude. Pagan Min, purely because I couldn't help but feel so bad for him. I couldn't help but feel love for him by the end of the game.
He is very charismatic.
He really is.
And I would argue, from his game, as much as he is the villain, he's probably still the best thing for that province, isn't he?
It's one of those where, when I'd finished the game, I did the game the first time round with the whole, if you wait around in the lobby for so long, then he'll just come out and do the thing, and then, you can go shoot some guns and it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the unofficial ending.
Yeah, the pacifist ending.
But then when it comes to the actual ending, you've got another one of two choices, which is to either kill him or just let him go. He'll denote all power and off he goes. But it's one of those. After a while of playing, I couldn't help but think that the rebels that I was helping were actually the ones in the wrong.
I see. I wouldn't go that far. I would say that he's still a fascist dictator.
Oh, very much so. But they seem to be...
They are just as bad, and it's like
they seemed more crazy.
Yeah,
than he did.
It's like cutting off the head of the Hydra. The old myth. You cut a head of, you take Pagan Min out, and all you've done is replace it with two nutcases instead of just the one.
Yeah,
and at least this one was helping the people. He's giving them jobs, even if those jobs are subjugating the rest of his people.
But it's just one of those antagonists that after it was about 3/4 of the way through that I just went, I really don't want to kill this guy. I really just want to kind of just leave it as it is and just go, do you know what?
I've ruined your country. Bye, fam.
All I want to do is just drop my mum's ashes off. Can I go now?
I wish I'd just waited.
Yeah.
And I've killed so many people.
It really is just that. Why am I helping these people when he seems to be one of the least problems in this country?
You know, I'm just loving the fact that you picked a really deep, interesting thing, and I've picked shallow, cartoony. I just want power for the sake of power.
Yeah.
I like the contrast.
Favourite game as a kid? Well, this one's easy.
Oh, okay. Kick game.
Yes.
I wrote that well.
Or Kitsch game.
Kitsch game.
With a backwards J.
What's your favourite kid game?
My favourite kid game, and I know that Alvaro and Harry will appreciate this, Spyro the Dragon.
Oh, you're a man of culture as well.
I very much am.
Okay.
The original Spyro the Dragon.
Oh, the first Spyro.
I haven't played any of the other Spyro the Dragon games.
Even with the recent remaster?
I played the remaster, but only of the first Spyro.
What? I've got to ask why.
I just haven't. It's just one of those, when I got my PlayStation 1 as a kid, I got quite a lot of games when I first got it. I didn't really get much of anything after that, because I got quite a big collection to start with. Can't name you half of them, but I did. But just never got around to playing them. But just the first Spyro the Dragon, it was... You know what I mean? I don't really need to say. It's just so charismatic and so fun. So... Just there's no part of it which feels tedious and
I always see him as like the
Bart
Simpson. Out of all the character mascots of that day, he was the Bart Simpson, as in he was rude, crude, but got stuff done.
Oh, Christ.
Very, very sassy whenever he's rescuing people, but still has a heart.
And it still comes across in the remaster. It's one of those things that hasn't been lost in the remaster. It's still the old Spyro, which is just.
Still part of me wishes that they'd pack, I know a lot of people would appreciate it, but I kind of wish they'd replace the dragons and go, thank you for listening.
With
and that's all they
something
say.
Else, yes.
Hey, Spyro, you look cool with shades, and then it cuts to Spyro wearing shades going, I know.
Yeah, just...
Admittedly, that doesn't happen.
Just something more, but just, the original Spyro the Dragon, just for its time, is still a game that you can pick up and play.
I'd say it's timeless.
It's
more now, because,
it's one of those A-star games. It's just very nice.
I say, because I would say the remaster helps.
Yes.
The PS1 version is still fun to play. I'm going to cop out with this one.
Okay.
Okay, I am going to go with the series, specifically on the PS1.
Okay.
The ones on PS1. I'm going to go with the Tekken series.
Okay.
Okay, because Tekken 1, I remember me and my brother playing it for literally days, because it was one of the few games we had on the PS1.
Mm-hmm.
And we unlocked all the characters, and basically I proceeded to trounce him, and he got really mad and wouldn't play the game with me anymore. And then we got Tekken 2, and I did the same again, and he told me I'm not allowed to play anymore.
Did you do the whole Eddie thing of just absolute bullshit? Or was that Tekken 3?
Eddie is Tekken 3.
Okay.
No, I was more of a...
I know my Tekkens.
I was more of a Kazuya and a Paul guy, so the two...
I was a Lee guy.
Yeah, the two poster guys. And... Yeah, I think the fact that I got a nice ego boost of my older brother basically refusing to play the game with me because I would beat him every time. And it was just a simple case of I understood footsies at age 8 and 9.
Fair.
Simple topic.
Yeah.
5 of your favourite games. Oh my god, right, okay.
I have 3 so far.
I'll dip my toe in then first, shall I? Command & Conquer Red Alert 2. Because I played it throughout my college years and my school years, and I still play it on and off to this day. Little strategy game. America versus Russia, tanks. It's camp. It's very 70s sci-fi in places. Number 2, Resident Evil 2. Not my number 2 best game of all time, but I'm not even going to go into why I like Resident Evil 2. Just watch the Let's Play.
We've been through that.
We've been through this. Number 3, let's go for an easy one. Time Splitters 2. So, basically, what if GoldenEye was on the PlayStation and all time traveling and goofy and weird?
Okay.
Yeah. Number 4 will be Final Fantasy VII. Yes, it's my favourite Final Fantasy. Yes, I'm cliche. I'm not even going to go into why. It's just a fun, epic little game.
Not for me.
It's
your favourite.
Yeah, it's fine. No judging. And to round it out, Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Game I want to play.
Because, the whole... it was the Castlevania that changed Castlevania. It was the game that coined the term Metroidvania, open world adventure game. Kind of think, what if Dark Souls was 2D and you might not be too far off, only less punishing. Yeah. That would be the best way to describe it. As a nutshell for someone like you.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your 5?
My 5.
Yeah, the worst part is, there's so many of these questions we've done. I can think of different answers now.
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and add 1 to the Silent Hill counter. Silent Hill 2.
Okay.
For reasons I've already said, is the perfect psychological horror game.
Yeah.
It's the first game that truly ever scared me. And it's...
See, I've always thought that game less scary, more tense and sad.
To me, it is kind of scary in its own ways as well.
Okay.
It's just, for me, it was the first real horror game that I played. And it was the atmosphere in it was just too perfect to not be scared. It's just... It's such a beautiful... Play the damn game. Seriously, play it.
Alright, what's number 2?
Number 2 will be Spyro the Dragon. The original Spyro the Dragon.
See, previous segment.
it's just the game I played the most.
Okay.
It's a game of...
I always thought you played Silent Hill 2 more.
I have played Silent Hill 2 more, but when it comes to platformy style games and on the PlayStation 1, it's the game I always seem to go back to, just as a little lethargic sort of thing. With Silent Hill 2, yeah, I've put quite a lot of time into Silent Hill 2.
Okay.
Number 3, add another one to the counter, Devil May Cry 3.
Okay.
It's just so campy. It's so campy and fun. All the villain itself is just so insane and incredible. You spoke about Virgil already.
Yeah. So he's not technically the main villain of 3. Well,
no,
he's one of. But
one of. Just the side character lady. She's a bitch.
She's a bitch.
But the secondary antagonist, I forgot his name, but he ends up playing the Jester.
Arkham.
That's it, Arkham. And then there's just all the bosses that go through it. All of them have got character to them and a lot of whimsy to them. And it's just a damn good game.
Okay.
Damn fun.
And now you can't use those counters. Well, I suppose you could, but what are your other 2?
My other 2 would be, even though I've not finished it, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Wow, we need counters for like Spyro.
Yes, we do. I'm so simple when it comes to these.
No, don't ever feel bad for your choice.
But no, Red Dead Redemption 2, even though I've not finished it, it's a game that I'm constantly I'm going to play it. I'm going to sit down and play it for a couple of hours, and I'm just going to do nothing in it. I'm just going to ride around on my horse.
See, the funny part was, Calum was clean-shaven this week. Calum was clean-shaven this week. He played Red Dead Redemption 2 for 2 days.
Yes, very much so. I'm just messy. His hair was shaved. I was bald. But no, it's just... The atmosphere just sucks you into the world. There's the side missions that you can just get through. They're just fun. The characters that you meet are also fun, if not slightly sad. It's just a fun game to lose half of your day to, and you don't really need to do anything in it.
Okay.
You could just get lost for a couple of hours, and it's great.
I feel like I'm getting sales pitched a little.
You very much are.
Okay.
Buy the game.
Alright, what's number 5?
Number 5.
I mean, you could call that a game, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Number 5.
Would you consider that one of your 5
What's
favourite
that,
games?
sorry?
Oxygen not included. You not played that one? What's the one space-based game where everyone screws everyone over and you keep moaning that I've killed someone or died?
I don't know.
Not Oxygen not included?
No?
You played that, right?
No?
What's that? Rimworld,
What are
is
you
it?
on about? Rimworld. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Explain Rimworld to me.
Wasn't going to be my choice, but yes, Rimworld.
Okay, alright. If it's not going to be your
No.
choice.
Rimworld it is.
Is it a valid one? Is it a favourite game?
It's a favourite game. It is valid, but it wasn't one I would have chose. But yes, Rimworld. Basically, top-down, slightly pixely, 2D colonist survival game where you drop 3 colonists in, try to survive, and build a ship to leave the world.
Okay.
A lot of shit happens in between. You get connected to your characters, like I have. You name all of your characters after people that you know and love, like I have. And you watch them all slowly die, like I have.
You saying that in a sadistic way or in a sad way?
Let's just give, for example, one of my colonists, Zoe, the one who does the tattoos, and she was only in my colony for, in-game, probably a couple of months. She got the plague, I didn't even realise, and then she just died one day.
Space plague.
Space plague. And I had no idea that she'd even had it, and I turned the game off and just walked away.
Yeah, there's probably people right now going, why haven't you put this, that, and the other? Why haven't we put Skyrim in? Why haven't we put this?
Oh, it's because Skyrim's overrated, that's probably why.
I picked FF7, I have no leg to stand on.
But just, yeah. Another one of my colonists, Beep Boop Beep, or Shannon, she started off as kind of like this slightly... Yeah, I set her as the psychopathic trait and...
Well, you could pick the character trait.
No, I modded it so that I could. So I could model it after certain people. So I could make it work. But then it turned out that Shannon was slightly more psychopathic than I thought, in that in my initial playthrough, she immediately shot another colonist in the back of the head.
Out of your 3?
Out of my 3. And she gave them permanent brain damage. Because I asked her to shoot at a raider...
Oh, damn!
And instead, she shot another colonist in the back of the head.
You're saying that, and I'm thinking, why didn't I pick New Vegas?
Now it's just one of those games where you've got control over what people can do and what people do, but you have no control of what happens in between. You cannot alter anything. They will get the plague. They will get a cold.
Alright, question 12, hit me.
A game or series that you've never been interested in.
I put long words.
You tried.
Game not bothered.
Straight in there, Gears of War.
Wow, why?
Just never been interested in it at all.
But it's got like Marcus Phoenix and Dom and everyone's sad because he's lost his wife. And
it's got massive bodies with teeny tiny heads and chainsaws for guns. That's pretty much the only reason I'd be interested in it, but the rest of it just doesn't appeal to me.
Oh.
At all. I never got into it.
Okay.
That and it was on the Xbox and I'm a Sony fanboy.
See, I'm omniversal. I'm going to go with... No, that's too controversial. Shit.
Do it. Say it, coward.
Okay, alright, I'm going to caveat this.
Okay.
Mario games.
I'm not against you.
Since Mario 64.
I'm not against you.
I love Mario 64, but every Mario game since has just felt like, let's just follow that formula with this. Like, Mario Sunshine, let's do Mario 64, but now you power wash things.
Yeah.
Let's do Mario Galaxy. Mario 64, but it's in space on obuloids and all those other weird things. And so on. I get they look fantastic. I get everyone is really, really, Italian plumbers, mustaches, yay. I'm just like, hi Mario. You got that $10 I owe you?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's it. I really can't. I get people love him. I get he's a mascot. I get he's the mascot of the biggest game company ever, really.
Yeah.
But I just don't give a shit.
I'm not against you on that one.
No.
Not against you. Favourite NPC or party member?
Oh my god. Okay, so this is more RPG focused, mostly. Favourite NPC.
Great spelling, Steve.
It'll do.
Do you have an idea what my answer's going to be?
I think it's going to be a character from either the Devil May Cry series, Red Dead Redemption 2, or Silent Hill?
You are wrong on all three.
Oh my god, go on.
Wrench from Watch Dogs 2.
Okay, that's to do with the mask and the emojis, right?
Yes.
Okay, elucidate me as to why.
He's one of those, again, going along the whole campy side of things, he is just a fun character. He's probably the funnest part of what is already a rather camp game.
Okay.
He's so, as you've said, with the emoji symbols on his goggles and all that lot, he's so animated. He's so quite an open character, but then when you get to a rather dark part of the game where it kind of pulls...
Does he have like sad emojis on?
It pulls him down a little bit. It gets to his personal problems. Even then, that doesn't really take away from him as a person. If anything, it makes him stronger. And just to me, he's just a cool dude. Innocent little boy. He's a wholesome little cinnamon roll.
So many f***ing NPCs.
Very much so.
Garrus Vakarian from the Mass Effect series. And I'll tell you why.
I'm going to add a Mass Effect counter now.
That's my second or third?
Third.
Right, okay.
Not that I'm counting.
No, but Garrus is cool because he starts out, because he plays through over the course of 3 games. And he starts out as basically a by the book, if a little extreme cop. He goes to that to be the mercenary equivalent of Batman, and then he basically is what you idealise yourself to be. He's like your ideal you, only as your alien bro, and you go shoot him with a sniper rifle. You let him win every time because he's damn cool. Plus, you know, he is witty and he loves doing his calibrations.
A game that never gets old.
Fire that counter up, because I'm going to say Red Alert 2.
Oh!
Mainly because you can make, with the right tools available, you can make your own maps, you can build your own little missions and stuff, and people still make mods for it to this day.
Yep.
This, I want to say, early 2000 strategy game. I remember it coming out in 2000 or 99, and it was around the time of the September 11th attacks, and because it's set in America, they had to actually adjust and patch out the Twin Towers in certain levels.
Yes.
But that's not why it gets old. It never gets old. It's because I can literally play the same game over and over again. It can be reinvented. It doesn't have to be. Music's damn good. You can always just play the campaign. There's still I don't know how big it is these days, but there is an online scene for it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not StarCraft or anything. I would argue it's infinitely less complex, but music's better. And generally, sound effects are more fun. Music's brilliant. I could gush. I'm not going to, but I f***ing love that game, and I can still play it now.
Okay.
You're still stuck, aren't you?
Nope. I've got mine, but I'm gonna fight my way over the counter here. I'm gonna say it's technically not its own game, but it was released separately. That was Red Dead Redemption on the PS3. Undead Nightmare.
Ooh! Go on then, because I always remember that as what if Undead Nightmare was like, to me, Red Dead Redemption and Dead Rising had a baby and had less micromanagement.
Pretty much, yeah. It's non-canonical to the I was going to say Resident Evil.
It could be.
Non-canonical to the Red Dead Redemption storyline.
No, it could still work.
It could still work, but there was no zombies in the Red Dead Redemption main storyline.
You say that, but it feels so much more fun because it could take place after Jack has already killed certain people, because the very end of it.
Could have done.
The only characters who die in it they don't die during Marston's arc. You don't see him afterwards. So there could have been, when Jack does his bit after John, spoilers, I'm sorry, spoilers for a fairly old game now, John dies, you could entirely have Jack's arc, because John's bit could take place in between final mission, having his family back.
Yeah.
Obviously it's ridiculous. Having a zombie apocalypse and then everything's fine, and then shot to pieces by the government.
It very much is it could just be an alternate turn-off in the storyline, but still non-canonical, as the developers have even said. But it's...
Go on.
It's a story that doesn't get old. It's a gameplay that just is so fun and so lethargic. It's not as...
You mean cathartic, right?
Cathartic, that one.
Lethargic's...
Yeah. I'm good with words.
That's okay.
But it's not one of those go from A to B sort of things. Yes, there is the A to Bs, but there's usually in the main stories there's bits to do in between the A's to Bs. In this there isn't. There is bits to do, but you can go from A to B, do the missions, and it will still take you a long time. It's a full game in a DLC package. It's quite possibly the greatest DLC that's ever been released.
It feels like it's almost from a bygone era, because I always thought of it as like, this is what an old school expansion pack's like.
Yeah.
As in, it's its own set of missions, new weapons, new enemies, and it's very in-depth, as opposed to just, here's 5 gun skins and a new enemy type. How about them, boys? You know, I would give you that. That's a pretty good one.
It's pretty much, I will say that it is its own game, because it very much is. But it's just... It's one of those, if you haven't played, it's very much worth playing.
Plus, more time with John Marston, less time with Jack Marston.
Very much so. A game that everyone should play at least once.
Oh my god, okay. Game you should play at least once.
Just go for the counter. It, why not? Silent Hill 2. I've already said why. It's just the perfect psychological horror game. It's got so many twists and turns in the story. It's got so many just good elements to it. It's a great puzzle game. Well, puzzle in the sense of go find the thing, collect the thing, come back. But then there are the actual riddles within... Pen's gone. But then there's the riddles within the games that just work together to fit in the world of Silent Hill. Just the story from A to B with all the little side bits. It's just so good. Okay. It's the game I've played and loved the most. And I can't get enough of it.
Alright, this one is going to be very, very low-hanging fruit, easy cop-out answer.
Okay.
Alright, but I'm going to say Resident Evil 4.
Not what I was going to expect you to say.
Okay, Resident Evil 4 because it is a game that redefined an entire franchise. It is a game that left its mark on history. Because third-person shooters were f***ing janky bullshit before Resident Evil 4 came around.
Yep.
Alright, and then also tight aiming, tight camera focus, very well-paced game. Right, I would argue the action is phenomenal for what it is. I would argue the last few chapters may be a little bit too much action, but you've got the Mercenaries mode, which is, one of the best mini-games in the game, a score-based attack mode. Then you've got the actual way the game structures itself. It's an escort mission, but the escort mission never feels stressful or tense, because it's like, okay, Ashley, stay right behind me or get in a bin.
Yep.
And then to cherry on the cake, it has got the most 80s action movie feel for the entirety of the cutscenes. Yeah, ignoring the fact that Leon is a completely utter prick in the game, and is completely way too bonkers outside of everything else is very serious, po-faced, or, oh my god, it's my birthday. Leon in that is like an entirely 80s action hero. And it's the most 80s video game that came out in the early 2000s.
And it even has a midget Napoleon.
And it even has a
game that inspires you. I have mine.
A game that inspires you. Okay. Alright. Okay. Game equals inspiration.
GAM equals inspiration.
Get off for God's sake! There! That was a weird EF.
GAMP.
GAMP equals inspiration.
Right. For me, Little Big Planet 2.
Oh, okay.
Because it was a little bit of a backstory on this one. During my software development course, we had a game development segment where we had to create basically a video game within an engine. We kind of took those parameters and we kind of stretched them a little bit, and we used the in-game level editor from Little Big Planet 2 to create this game within a game to submit as our piece. And just the level editor in Little Big Planet 2 specifically is so broad, it's got so much in it, that you can't help but just build these magnificent little machines that for some reason just work. Again, we made a game within a game. I can't exactly explain it, but it's got so many objects to it. It's got so many physics objects to it. It's got so many different levels that you can build on with all these different technical if statements and counters and all this other lark.
Yeah.
That you could just sit and build these fantastic things, and your entire day is just vanished just from building. Granted, yes, the game itself, it's so bubbly and so bright and...
Twee.
Yeah, it does have that artistic standpoint to it. But for me, from a technical standpoint, just the in-game level editor just adds everything together.
See, I'm trying to be a contrarian sod now. I'm trying to figure out, what game can I pick that's inspirational, that doesn't have a building system or a crafting system? Drawing a massive f***ing blank.
Go for anything.
And
whatever inspires you.
We're not all the way through it yet. In fact, spoilers, there might be something on the channel coming up soon. But I am going to say, rather friggin' stupidly, and I would argue it's more the idea behind than the actual execution, Dark Souls.
Okay.
Because the game punishes you, it treats you like crap, you can lose all your stuff and then try and get back in a rage and lose all your stuff forever. But it kind of, there's this strange itch to want to push you to keep going just until you do it. And there's always a dumb functional way of solving it. Like there's no wrong strategy. If a strategy works, it's a good strategy.
Yeah.
At least that's the way it seems to set away. And a lot of people say it's fair, it's balanced, it's actually very, very well designed. I'm arguing your hitboxes are bullshit.
Yeah.
And some weapons are crap. But there's something about it, the whole, you've got to still get over that horse. You've got to get moving. You've got to keep going. You've got to keep pushing past. You can deck that sword. You can get your souls back. And that's why I pick a Dark Souls, because that never give up factor, at least that one that's instilled in me, is, well, that's pretty inspirational. I believe that's Dark Souls. 17. Genre.
Oh. Okay.
Favorite genre.
Action adventure.
Oh wow, you are being that generic.
Yes.
Not survival horror.
Yeah, probably survival horror, but I think for me, the action adventure hack and slash just seems to be one of those. I could sit down and play this for a good few hours and just zone out.
Okay.
Whereas other games that I do tend to play, I tend to get really immersed into them. I tend to get really
deep worlds.
Yeah, I tend to get sucked into the worlds, and yeah, they're fun, but there's no better catharsis than just wailing away at somebody for a good couple of hours.
See, the rules of this exercise, where the first answer that comes to mind, has kind of thrown me a curveball, because you'd think I'd be saying action adventure or survival horror.
I would have thought so, yeah.
I'm going to say strategy.
Okay.
Or simulation strategy. Because stuff like FTL and Into the Breach, stuff like that. Well, Command & Conquer less so. XCOM more so. The whole planning your moves ahead.
XCOM,
like that. Basically, things where you have to really think.
Yeah.
I can, especially if you can take your time, like, going a little bit off topic, but Final Fantasy, I love FF7. It's my favourite Final Fantasy game. Best battle system for me, not character progression system, but battle system is Final Fantasy X, and that's because it's purely turn-based, and it's basically all games where you have to pick your move and plan your tactics before you shag the opponent. Not literally, mess them up, win, not necessarily, fornications. But, that. I like the idea of, like, picking stuff apart, I guess.
Yeah.
Or that pang of victory, like, I did all this and I feel like a genius mastermind.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with strategy.
Okay.
The game you should really have played by now. The game you should have played.
No, because it's not what you're thinking.
What am I thinking?
You're thinking Resident Evil 2.
No, I am not.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Okay. Well, my choice is Psychonauts.
Wow, okay. Tim Schafer's little mind-bending platform adventure game.
I've never played it. I own it. Never played it. I don't know why I haven't played it. It's just sat on the Steam library, waiting to be done.
Oh, okay.
Just haven't played it. I've watched people play it quite a lot.
I know a lot of people say about how it's one of these most genre-defining kind of games, don't they?
I've watched plenty of people play it, and I've probably watched the ending more times than I've seen the beginning, but it's just, I want to play it, it's there, just haven't.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just trying to think, it's Raz, isn't it? The lad with the pilot helmet and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I played it once, a million years ago, and I remember being, it's alright. And then it became this genre-defining thing. And I'm like, I should really get on to finishing this game. So I totally relate on that one.
Yeah.
I think the game I should have played by now is Shadow of the Colossus, or Shadows of the Colossus. I can't remember which way you pronounce that.
It's Shadow of Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus, because everyone tells me how it's this game that would break your spirit and you'll feel like a complete and utter knob murdering these creatures, and it's like this vast void of a world.
Yeah.
And there's almost like a, what is it? Never-ending story with Artax and the...
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff. Everyone tells me how it's this great sweeping epic of a game, yet it's vastly lonely and devoid of anything but murdering these rare animals.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with that. But the same token, doesn't sound like it's going to be my bag. But again, been told time and time again, need to give this game a go.
Yeah, I've been told by plenty of people, play Psychonauts. Just not there.
And yes, for the edit, you can cut to my face where he totally did think I was going to say Resident Evil 2.
I genuinely thought you was going to say Resident Evil 2.
Yeah. 19.
Favourite indie game you have played recently?
Alright.
I've already given my answer out in a previous question.
Go for it.
Do you remember it?
Do I remember it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Do you mean RimWorld by any chance?
No. Shockingly enough, no. It is The Consuming Shadow.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, it's very much not even the bottom of the barrel when it comes to indie games. It's very much I didn't realise that this particular person made his own video games.
He's got a load, Ben Croshaw.
Again, Yahtzee Croshaw, he has made quite a lot of games, especially...
I highly recommend, what's that thing called? Ego Review? Yes. Look up Ego Review on YouTube. It's a list of him playing his own games and basically complaining and ripping about them.
Yeah, it's made everything from your point-and-click puzzle games all the way up to a 2D platformer shooter-ish thing called Poachers, which I believe is free. But then
I think all of them are, except for Consuming
Shadow. Consuming Shadow on Steam. It's... just go back to my previous points. It's just...
Literally smash cut this.
It really is. It's an atmospheric game which you wouldn't quite take as atmospheric. But then there's, as I've mentioned earlier, with the whole sanity meter that actually works, going from, I'm going to go to talk to the shopkeeper, to buying this thing, to, I'm going to commit suicide now.
Randomly.
Because you've just been driven mad by everything that you've seen.
So it gets harder each time, doesn't it?
Very much so.
You can actually, also if you're a complete, nihilistic sod, just, you know what?
And like we've said, it's randomly generated. No one game is exactly the same like the other. So you could go from one game getting all the rune pieces in, the first few dungeons, to not getting any rune pieces until the last couple of dungeons. And you've only got 24 hours to beat the game in game time.
Yeah.
But it's a damn good game.
See, I'm going to be a greedy sod now. I'm going to pick 3.
Okay.
Okay, because I've played 3 recently and they're all very good. Number 1, Celeste, that game Madline was from.
Yes.
Banging platformer, and it's got loads and loads of little assist options, so if you really suck at platforming, you can make it easier. And then I'm going to go with Game Dev Tycoon, because apparently I cannot stop fucking playing it.
I forgot about Game Dev.
It's a little strategy game. You basically have to pick your genre, pick your topic, pick your platform, go.
I'm actually going to have my phone.
Yeah, same. I can't stop playing it when I'm on my break at work. To the point where I never have phone battery anymore. I just can't put the game down. And for my third choice, I shall pick, I believe it's called Time Spinner. I only played it a month or so ago.
Okay.
But it's basically almost like if a Metroidvania game came out on the SNES. It's not actually on the SNES, it's like PS4, PC. It's just I think it's on Switch as well. It's a 3D adventure game. You go around the world, beat up, do time travel. It's just very fun. It's a very fun time. It's got a nice positive little LGBT message too. So yeah, Time Spinner, Game Dev Tycoon, Celeste. I'm a greedy bastard. Our last one is a game that truly scared the out of you.
Okay.
A game that, I know that needs a lot of work, alright?
It does.
A game that truly scared the out of you.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm censoring it. It's not like we haven't saying shit, bugger and the entire shit.
Thanks for editing for me, Steve.
Exactly. I was trying to spare it, but then I had to get my point across. There are so many games that I could add to this list. I'm going to have to take a minute and see which one sifts the top.
Okay.
What have you got?
For me, I've got 2. And neither of them is what you're thinking of.
Silent Hill 2 wouldn't be.
No,
it's not scary enough.
It scared me previously, but it's not on this list. The first one being Project Zero or Fatal Frame, Project Zero 2, The Crimson Butterfly.
Yeah, it's Project Zero. It's only called Fatal Frame in the States.
I say it's Fatal Frame overstates, which is a much better name than Project Zero.
I would admit it works better, but Project Zero is still an okay title.
Yeah, it's still an okay title, but
It does imply there's some like kind of secret organisation stuff that
Fatal Frame, it just rolls off the tongue.
Plus the whole photography thing. You know, our Tasha might like it.
Yeah, very much so. I don't know if she's
scariness.
actually played them. No, she doesn't tend to play very many scary games.
She likes Alan Wake.
Yeah,
We're answering stuff for her, apparently. No, you know, Tasha's answer is Alan Wake, or
Yes.
Five Nights at Freddy's. Probably
It
Five
is.
Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, Silent Hill. I was going to say Silent Hill 2 then. No, Project Zero 2, The Crimson Butterfly. It's just jump scary. It's one of those games where jump scares genuinely work.
One of the things that,
Because you see these figures on the screen, then you pull your camera up, and the next minute there's a ghost literally in front of you.
Yeah, I'd say you'd have to probably grab a screenshot for this, but
Very much so.
I remember the whole, like, if you just leave the game idle, and I mean literally idle, not paused, just idle, the game will eventually notice when you come back. The first time it detects movement on you, there will be like the scariest shit on the screen, just go, boom, motherfucker. And that's what I remember about, I was say Kingdom Hearts then, yeah, that's right,
It's very scary.
Square Enix characters, no. I'm trying to think, and the first thing that comes to mind, it's probably because I played it recently, is the atmosphere and total dread of knowing that Mr. X is looking for me, and he is following me around this building and wants to thump me.
Okay.
But I know that's a bit of a shit answer, because I have probably encountered a lot scarier things this time, but it's the first one that came to mind, so I'm going to go with the Resident Evil 2 remake.
The second one for me is technically not really a game, but PT.
I'll still let you have that one.
Yeah, PT.
It's inspired like a million indie devs to copy it. So.
Pretty much, yeah. And you could argue Resident Evil 7, but we're not going to argue.
Resident Evil 7 was in development before PT.
So they say.
What do you mean, so they say?
So they say. But yeah, PT, it's another one of those extremely atmospheric. You are literally locked in this corridor.
It's always the sounds she makes.
It's the sounds, it's just... Yeah, things do follow a pattern of happening in the game, but you never can predict when that next step in the pattern will happen, unless you trigger something. And it's just going from... Unlike me, if you're playing it for the first time, you are going to be scared shitless.
The worst part is, I'm thinking back to the influential games people should play.
Yes.
PT is totally one of those games.
It very much is.
And it's a shame that not a lot of people are going to be able to play it now. Because of the
pretty
whole...
much almost nobody.
Yeah, unless you download it there and then, or you buy an expensive PS4, no chance. And the whole fact that so many people now are making... I mean, Layers of Fear is basically what if PT was a bit linear and all painting related and had a really, really wank narrative. Yeah. You know, that kind of stuff has... It's all over the indie horror genre now. Yeah. You check out Itch.io and stuff. So a game that defined an entire genre is a very good choice for a game that scared the shit out of you.
Yeah, very much so.
All right. So that was 20 questions from this meme list thing of getting to know us. And you know what the worst part is? I can think of another answer for almost every one of these things now. So yeah. Sign off in the comments below if you agreed with any of our decisions. Complain in the comments below if you didn't. I did say at the start of the video, just try and keep it civil. Yeah. I've been Steve.
I'm Calum.
Let us know if you like this. We might do it again sometime, find another list meme, might even answer the same questions again and see if we get the same answers.
Yep.
Until then, bye.
Bye.